Welcome back to the channel, guys. The shop AC is broken and it's like 100 and something degrees in there. So it's like 38, 40 degrees Celsius. Pretty hot. I don't feel like being out there. So you're getting this from my back porch. So this is VIN 1856. This is a 2016 083, which is ultra white with LA30 red interior. And it is for sale on Facebook Marketplace in California, 93,000 miles for $45,000. Sounds like a pretty good deal, so we'll dive into it and see what we find out here. Production statistics: 648 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were ultra white, and of those, 361 had LA30 red interior. So that's 15.37% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo. That is a 1 out of 10. It's the most common color combo, so it's white with red. For 2016, 372 out of the 1,418 cars were ultra white, and of those, 214 had LA30 red interior. So this car, at its rarest, is one of 214, one of the most common that you will find. As far as options go, this car had G4, which is the lighted front door sills. It has Mark Levinson orange calipers. It has V2, which is the glass brake sensors. It also has the comfort and convenience package Z2, which is the trunk mat, cargo net, wheel locks, key gloves, and the applique on top of the rear bumper, the clear plastic film, so it doesn't scratch the top of the bumper when you take things out of it. So pretty well optioned example overall, especially for a 2016. Carfax, Epic VIN, and Auto Check. So my 2026 Carfax shows this as a 3-owner, 1 damage event in September of 2018 to the left front. And my 2024 Carfax shows the same, except it was a 1-owner car at that time. The original owner owned this car until August of 2025, and then it has changed hands twice since then, and then also for sale again. So you would be the 4th owner of this car, but it's basically been a 1-owner car since the end of last year. Epic VIN shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. And Auto Check shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car, which I don't think is correct. It looks like it is a 3-owner, 1 damage event, lifelong Southern California car. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale in June of 2016 for $88,000 in California, and it sold in November of 2016, 5 months for sale to an owner in California. They moved in 2018 to West Covina, California, still the LA area. They moved again to Linwood, California in 2023. So that's still in the Los Angeles area. And then there was a private sale in September of 2025 and another private sale just a few weeks ago, May of 2026, to someone in Chino, California, still the LA area. And now it's for sale in Paramount, California, which is still the Los Angeles area. Pretty odd that it's changed hands so often in like the last 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months. And especially more recently, the person who acquired it in May of 2026, now here they're trying to sell it in June of 2026. So I don't know if they're trying to flip it. Maybe they got it super cheap, trying to flip it for a profit. I'm not sure what's going on here. So now into the photos. The carbon fiber trim is all delaminating. All of the 5 common front pieces that delaminate on these cars, it's delaminating. Not surprising to see, but you can send those off, pull them, send them to SMA Fabrication in Florida for about $800, and he can refinish all of them, and they will not ever do that again. Or you can buy new ones to the tune of $8,000 to $10,000 or more, and they'll still do it eventually. So Lexus never updated the parts on them, so they're still going to delaminate if you all you do is replace them. The paint does look like it needs a pretty good paint correction or polishing. Just some of the photos that they've provided, you can see in the direct sunlight, it's got a lot of scratches and swirls or swirl marks in the paint. So that's easily fixable. I do see that it's lowered and it has wheel spacers. You can tell that. See, the wheels are very flush to the fenders. Being lowered, if this car doesn't have adjustable suspension links or upgraded front lower control arm bushings, then you're going to continually have tire wear issues. So this car may have brand new tires or very recent tires because it's probably wearing out the insides of the front tires if it doesn't have the proper associated parts. So that would be something to look at if you're going to look at this car. But other than that, the seller doesn't really give a whole lot of other information. It just says PM me or message me for details. And so I kind of hate those ads because they're kind of fishing for buyers that way. But you know, it is what it is. If you're interested in this car, there's very few of them that come up for sale. So message them, and you've got a lot of questions to ask them, especially when we get to the service history. So as far as the price goes, for the mileage, this car would probably be in this market here in June of 2026, like a low to mid 40s car. So asking 45 grand, That's probably the upper edge of where I would expect to see this if this car needed nothing. And you already know it's going to need at least, carbon fiber trim addressed, a paint correction, things like that, let alone the service. So we'll get into that. So now into the service history. It's well dealer serviced mostly until the last couple years, and then it seems like it's pretty lacking. And so the first injury of note is March of 2017. They replaced the lower rear diffuser part, so that could be the edges or something like that, but that was replaced. Maybe they hit something, backed into something along those lines. Also in March of 2017, the driver's side hood was noted as sitting a little bit different than the other side, so they adjusted the hood stopper. So not a big deal, but something of note there. April of 2018, the roof molding was noted as peeling. The paint was peeling, so it's the little strips on the top of the roof. I have seen that in a couple other services where maybe it was defective or something, so they replaced it, and they also did the JLB recall there. That's the high pressure fuel pumps. So most of these cars have that done. November of 2018, the low pressure fuel pump was reprogrammed. That's the humming or buzzing that you get in the back seat. Most of the 2016s, I would say probably 75 or 80% or more have that done already. February of 2025, 30,000 mile service with brake fluid flush being done. So good to see that's done. September of 2020, 38,000 miles. They noted inner front tire wear. So I don't know if this car was lowered at that point or not. However, it's wearing the insides of the front tires, and they also just recommended to replace all 4 tires at this service, and it was declined. July of 2025, 82,000 miles, coolant flush and transmission service. So another good thing you like to see, and it's out of the way. So what's not done? I don't see anywhere where the 60,000 mile service was done. So that's the spark plugs, brake fluid flush again, more in-depth service, look at the belts, the hoses, things like that. The TVD, torque vectoring differential, I don't see where that's been serviced, so I would get that done right away. And the valley plate, of course, is a big one on these cars. Don't see where that's been done of record. And so that's something where you need to put $2,000 to $3,000 aside if you're going to look at purchasing this car if it hasn't been done. So do a pre-purchase inspection and make sure that the valley plate is not leaking. The notes on the service about the inner front tire wear. This car being lowered, it will continue to have that unless it has adjustable links, like I said earlier. So adjustable links, upgraded front lower control arm bushings, adjustable links, that is a requirement when these cars are lowered. So that's definitely something you need to look into on this car. I don't see where the ZLZ has been done. So that is the sticky, deformed, cracked, delaminating dash. The in-service date on this car is November 5th of 2016. So you have until November 5th of 2026 to get your dash replaced free of charge. If it is even the slightest bit sticky, Lexus will cover it. KLG has not been done on this car. That is the GPS location reporting incorrectly. So you can get that done, or you can go to the aftermarket, Android Auto, CarPlay, get an aftermarket unit and then not worry about that. HVAC servo sweep. So make sure the car is fully warmed up. So the 2 little marks on the temperature gauge, they're right in the middle, and set one side to max hot, one side to max cold, cycle through everything and then flip sides. Make sure everything responds. If it doesn't, there is a fix for it. It's no longer free where they can reprogram and re-grease all the rods and everything. And if that still doesn't fix it, then you have to replace some of the servo motors, and some of those require the dash to be removed, and so that can get very expensive. The carbon fiber trim, as I said, that can be expensive, or send them to SMA fabrication and you can get them refinished. I don't see anything recently about brakes or tires being replaced, so either they've been done DIY, done at a place that doesn't report it, or it just simply hasn't been done. So if you've watched even a couple of my previous videos on any of these cars, they almost always need brakes and tires, expect to do brakes and tires. And so maybe that's the case here too. And then finally, the low pressure fuel pump recall, which just came out about a month ago. The parts are still not available, but you will get a new low pressure fuel pump free of charge at the Lexus dealer once the parts become available, which should be any day now. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? I would say based on what it needs, what it's lacking, I would probably have to have this car around $40,000. And, brakes, tires, valley plate, carbon fiber trim, bring the service up to date. So do the TVD service, the 60,000 mile service, the spark plugs, look at belts, hoses, things like that on top of that. But yeah, it would have to be for me around $40,000 for it to make sense. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, this was a one owner Southern California car until August of 2025. And then it's just changed hands a bunch since then. It was fairly well serviced to that point, not great towards the end, but it has the potential to be a good one, but you're going to have to throw some money at it. And so this would be a good driver quality car because it's almost at 100,000 miles. So just jump in it, bring it up to service, and go enjoy it. That's what I would do. But you'd have to get it, for me, around $40,000. So that's what I've got for you guys. VIN 1856. I am sweating my ass off sitting out here, and it's still hot. We're in Texas, and so I'm just gonna enjoy it and bring it to you anyway. So this is VIN 1856. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon.